All right.
there was a thing I wanted to talk about too, on the podcast, but we ran out of time. And it kind of ties into this. I think the one of the funny parts I wanted to touch on before I get into my thing was that Trump came up with all of these things that's leading to these new voter suppression laws and whatnot that people are pushing for or trying to pass. Um, and a lot of them, like I want to say the vast majority, 60 to 80% of them, have to do with like shutting down or curbing voting by mail, because
Right.
that apparently was the source of the big widespread fraud and whatever. And it's like every single election that we've had where Trump could vote since he became president, he's voted by mail.
Of course. Because the
Every
rules don't apply to him.
bro, it's so frustrating to like talk to like his supporters. It's like
Uh-huh.
the dude is telling you to not vote by mail, and he himself is voting by mail. And they remember they removed the post office boxes, and not the post office boxes, the ballot boxes, and all these the drop boxes, and just all these things to like stop his supporters from,
Hmm.
because that's it. Like, I don't understand how they're willing to sacrifice just because the vote that you're trying to suppress is higher in percentage than the vote that you actually want in that same area. These people are willing to
Hmm.
sacrifice. Yo, Republicans are ruthless as shit, and like
They
the
are.
I will commend that. Now, you gotta commend that because it's insane. They will be like,
Yes.
okay, so we're trying to suppress 150,000 votes in this district. Um, about 37,000 would be votes for us. Fuck that 37,000. Let's kill.
Hmm.
Like, bruh, them dudes is
That's
cold. They
exactly what
cold,
they do.
cold
They
as
don't
ice
care. They just, yes, they want to stay in power and they will have
at
those
any
sacrificial lambs.
cost. Any cost. They don't give a fuck. It's crazy.
And most people don't realize that they are the ones who are being sacrificed. They
Oh
don't get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
They think that it's not them. They're not part of the collateral damage, but they are. But they still think that they're not.
Because if the team wins, everybody eat. Did nothing. Everybody eat the minus $1,400 that we just got. That's what would have happened if your
Yes.
team won.
Yes.
Hey, if your team won, remember, no one on your team voted for this. So if your team won,
Right.
that new TV you just bought, fucking Jethro, yeah, it's a wrap. But anyways, I can fix this whole thing. And I know I actually, when I say that, I realize how fascist it sounds. Don't think I'm oblivious. It's just like I'm the one. I have the answer. It sounds very Trumpian, doesn't it? I'm the only one that can fix this. I know how to fix this. But I
It
do, you
does.
guys. I promise. I promise. Listen to me.
I
I
alone
think
can
we're
fix
having that
it.
lag again. But yeah. So we know for a fact that the government can access all of our cell phones, because there have been two times in the Trump presidency or the Trump administration where he sent a message to all of our cell phones. Everybody in the country got it. I don't remember what the first one was, a test, and then the second one I don't remember what message he sent. I saw it come up, presidential alert, something something, and I just closed it because I was like, I don't give a fuck what this guy's saying. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of your cell carrier or the service provider, the government has full access to your cell phone. That is what we know. They can send and deliver messages to your cell phone, encrypted. So here is how I would fix the voter issue. And this is only for the people who believe that every single citizen of the United States should exercise their right to vote. If you don't believe that, this fix is not for you. If you do believe that, roll with me for a second. So, the government creates an app that is 256K encrypted. So, We're not dealing with any hacking or whatever. Or you can turn the encryption up to whatever the fuck you want. There is 1098. Require for you to log in, your blood, a sacrifice of a goat, the lock of a virgin, I don't know, whatever. But the government creates an app with encryption, and you're only allowed to access the app at certain points in time, and that is 7 days before an election. And it can be local, state or federal or whatever. And at that point in time, just like you all use your thumbs, your fingerprint to open your phone, you would use your fingerprint to open this app. Within the app, you would put your social security number. And just like all other apps that you've done, if you've done like ride sharing or Uber or whatever, you had to take a picture of your driver's license back and front. And I know for Uber, you had to send a copy of your insurance and things of that nature. So this is all stuff that we've done before. None of this is new. So you take a picture of your driver's license back in front, you take a picture of your social security card back in front, whatever, whatever, and it's saved in your account info. You can go in there whenever you want in this app and update like your address or whatever. And it takes 21 days for you to update your address. So you can't just update your address like next week or some shit. And then it has to be verified by the same system that you would have done anything else. Taking a picture of a phone bill or whatever is addressed to you saying that you do live in this place. And then, obviously would have a government agency dedicated to this app, and they would make sure that, okay, this person's registered in this county at this address at this whatever whatever. All of that would be taken care of, right? So a week before the election, so let's say it wasn't election time, and you clicked on the app and it was just like, okay, use your finger to open the app. If there's no election that's pertinent that's going on to you, you can't even access the app. It's just a black screen. It's just not an election, not popping. But let's say there is an election. Within a week of an election, you open the app, you use your finger, you um you have all the information in there. And I know a lot of people, well, some people who might be listening to this podcast and do Amazon Flex, whenever you open the app to work, and I think it does it with Uber too, it asks you to take a picture of your face so that it matches what they have on file from your ID to the face that just came through when you took a picture. And it verifies that not only your fingerprint and that you could, recite your social security, but your face, the person who's in front of the phone right now who just accessed the app, is the same person as this ID. Once all of those things are settled, it'll open up the voting information. So you'll have like, this person is looking to be chief engineer of the county or whatever, whatever, and these two people are running, and it'll maybe give you some information on them. Maybe, age 38, lived in the county for 10 years, I don't know, whatever, is an engineer for 26 years or something like that. And all of it's there almost like in PDF format. And then you go down and issue 1 or issue 2. Should we have more school buses for, busing people in and out of this community, and our taxes are going to pay for that or whatever. And then you'd have that, but it's spread out. So each page would be what you're voting on. And just like we've all done before, where we're signing up for a service and it forces you to read the terms of agreement, the terms of service, where if you don't scroll to the bottom all the way, the I accept doesn't light up. Same thing. If you haven't read through this thing, you can't get to the bottom where it says vote. Now, yeah, you can scroll and maybe not read, but the opportunity was there. You'll have the opportunity. No one hid anything from you. You could have read it. You chose not to. Just like we all do with terms of service agreements. I get it. It'll be fine. But that safeguard would be in there. So you get to that and you vote. The next one, next issue, next person, next issue, next person, next issue. And then you get to review it at the end, see, make sure that all your answers are how you want it, whatever. And then you submit, and that's your vote. And then once the vote is cast, the app shuts down for you again and is completely encrypted. You can't access, go in there, do nothing until the next election cycle. You would get representatives that look like the constituents of where they're from. And when I say look like, I'm not talking facial features. I'm talking about, this is how I want to live. This is where I want to shop. This is the security that I want to have. These are the types of roads I want to drive on. This is the type of toll fee or whatever. If you did that, you would have everybody voting. And in the podcast, I had said you have more people who have smartphones than people who have clean water. And that's a fact. That's like a World Health Organization fact. And so you would have a majority of the
Yeah.
populace that we live in would be able to be contributing to the democratic process. And I know a lot of people wouldn't be for it. And the reason is because when you do have a large number of the population voting, it turns into a true democracy. And true democracy, not just democracy that you talk about like waving a flag and like, you know, performing an insurrection and shit. True democracy by the name is majority rule. That's what it is. And so if you have everybody voting, the people who feel disenfranchised by not being in the majority, this would affect them adversely. I'm well aware of that. However, it would be a true representation of the population. What do you think of that, Beth? What do you think of my
Mhm.
solution to this voting shit? Doing it by encrypted app that can only be accessed at certain times and have all of these checks.
My only question is, why aren't you building this app right now and trying to farm it out to the federal government?
Because I am making a podcast.
Because I
Because
like the
I'm
idea.
busy making a podcast. I'm busy making a podcast.
You can do both. You can do
It
both.
doesn't
I
it
think it's
doesn't
brilliant.
take
I
that
think
much
it's
brain
exactly
power
what we
though.
should have.
Anybody who's taken a semester of computer science could have come up with that. That wasn't like something genius that like I came up with. Let me tell you,
Hmm.
you see how the way I described it, I described all of the parts of it that I think that are important to it. I described it as it exists already in another app.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm inventing
Yeah.
this. I'm saying take this part of Amazon Flex, take this part of PayPal, take this part of Chase, take this part of Fidelity app, put them all together, encrypt the shit out of it, only reserve access for these points in time, run it through the App Store. Bam. And then here's the thing.
Yep.
We know for a fact
Yep.
that, like I said, the government can access your phone. So the government can notify you. You'll just get an alert. Beep, 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 beep. You are within 7 days of an election. The app is now available to use using your identification, blah, 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 blah. Open the app, XYZ. And so the government would be
Yep.
involved with getting everyone to vote. Now, like I said, if you do that, it's going to look like a true democracy. And that scares the fuck shit out of people who've been the benefit of this dog shit republic forever. And that's just the truth.
Hmm.
So that it's not because it's a bad
Yeah.
idea why people won't like it. It's like, oh fuck.
Now, those people that are in power now will not be
Yeah.
able to stay in power. That's why they don't want it.
Because as the saying goes, we have the technology. I know we do because just listed it from various different apps.
And the other collateral damage to this, which isn't in this sense a bad thing, it's actually a good thing, is that you will have to have candidates who will run based on a platform that will integrate with the technology that it's needed to elect them. So
Yes.
you will get rid of these fucking dinosaurs that are 80 goddamn years old sitting in
Yes.
Congress right now making laws when they don't even fucking know what half of this technology is.
And
So I like it.
I think that goes into the part that I was talking about, being able to scroll through the thing before you say yay or
Hmm.
nay. Like imagine, so you couldn't run on culture war.
Right.
You would have to present some form of policy that people are going to scroll, either they're going to read it or scroll past it, but it's there for them to see. You can't just yell out radical leftist, radical like 17 times. You're going to have to present some people
Hmm.
because they're going to read it on their phone. And then here's the next thing too. Like I said, you have 7 days, so the shit might pop up and you're in a meeting at work and you're just like, I got to set aside some time maybe Tuesday night around 8 and just sit down with this quietly and
Yeah.
introspectively and figure out what's going on, instead of just, oh, I'm heading to this booth and whatever happens in there happens. This would be at your own leisure. you know you can drive out to the
Hmm.
country, send out your fishing line, and then sit there and vote like a real American,
Yep.
enjoying a beer if you want. I wouldn't
That's
recommend
right.
it while voting, but yeah. And this is the greatest country in the world. Why have we done anything like that? I guess, like you said, people like me haven't created. Yo, somebody created it. They just ain't using it. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep. I like the idea. Good job. But we should probably put this on the regular podcast, not just the extra bonus material for Patreon, because this idea needs to become a thing.
Hmm. All right. Wow. I'm gonna have to listen to
Is
it
there a
again because I'm
massive
kind of.
delay, or are you just thinking?
No, I'm just thinking. I was just thinking. Yeah, it's not massive. But yeah, I'll see what I can
But
do
we
with
should,
editing
yeah.
this.
I mean, this needs to become a thing.
Thank you. You made me feel like I'm smart. Like I said something great. Like wow, this could actually we could vote on our
Well,
phones.
you are smart. You did say something great. Yeah, this
Okay,
totally.
thanks.
I don't know why we can't do this. You need to. This needs to be a thing.
Yeah. So, anything you want to add, Miss Lady?
Okay, we have a massive delay, and it's driving me crazy.
It's driving me crazy too. But I can fix it in post production if you just
Yeah.
act normal.
Okay. No, I can't think of anything else. Oh, actually, I could. I could. You were saying that. Oh, when I remember. Okay, there is something I want to add. You were talking about Trump
Mm-hmm.
voters and just why they're going to basically advocate for something that is actually going to kill them or to make them a lesser person or whatever. I have a really funny story. No names are going to be included in this because,
Darn it.
and I don't want to out anybody here, but this is an example of a person who was once smart, voted for Trump, and now all intelligence has gone out the window. So, a good friend of mine, her mom is a Trump voter and is now suddenly
Mm.
anti-vax. And so she pulled up a Facebook post from 2014, took a screenshot of it, back when there was a mumps outbreak in America. And maybe it was even in Ohio, I don't remember.
This
But
is
my
sounding
friend was
so
like, "Oh, we've
good.
got a mumps outbreak. This is crazy." And then her mom says, "Don't you love how all those parents who think that they know more than doctors and don't get their children vaccinated? Really smart people." And this woman now, because of Trump, is now an anti-vaxxer, not getting vaccinated because
Is she
she
wait?
doesn't think that
Is
the
she
coronavirus thing
anti-vax
is that big a deal.
or anti-coronavirus vax?
I didn't hear what your question was.
Is she
It cut out.
anti-vax or anti-coronavirus vax?
Anti-coronavirus vax.
Mm.
But even if you just say there's an outbreak of coronavirus right now, so 7 years ago, this woman was like, people who don't get their children vaccinated are really stupid. But fast forward to now, and she's like, I don't think we should get vaccinated.
Did you post that? Did you like take a screenshot of it and post it back to her? Like, hey, this you? This
No.
is you, buddy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, what?
No, because I'm not friends with that mother on Facebook. But I asked the friend if they would do it, and they may in fact do so. Tag her in that, but I can't do it because I'm not friends with her on Facebook. But it's just funny. I mean, people are willing to ruin their lives and destroy their livelihood to follow that man, and it's just crazy to watch it happen.
It's also entertaining. It's also very entertaining.